Mrs. Lieber and my sous chef Chase back here for another edition of Baking with Mrs. Lieber. And today we're gonna make edible cookie dough. Now, originally cookie dough is not something that you wanna eat because it has raw eggs in it. So raw eggs can contain something called salmonella. So in this recipe, we're going to take the eggs out, but we are going to use flour. So raw flour can also contain salmonella. So we are gonna have to bake the flour just a little bit to kill any bacteria that's in it. So we're going to make raw or edible cookie dough 4 different ways, and we're going to stop and show you the ingredients and the tools you're going to need. So I'm going to go over the ingredients and the tools you're going to need to make your edible cookie dough. So first, what you're going to need for the actual dough, you're going to need 2 cups of flour. You're going to need, refer to my recipe here, you're going to need the recipe. You're going to need a cup of brown sugar, light or dark brown sugar, it's up to you. You're going to need a cup of softened butter. Now, I always use unsalted butter because usually in baking you'll add salt if the recipe needs it. So a cup would be 2 sticks, and softened butter means I can like press on it a little bit. So right out of the fridge is not softened butter. So if you're getting your butter right out of the fridge, you want to probably put it in the microwave for like 10 seconds just so it softens. If it melts just a little bit, that's okay, but you don't want it completely melted. You're gonna need some milk, 2 tablespoons. We use almond milk in our house, but whatever milk you have in your fridge will be fine. You're gonna need vanilla extract, so you're gonna need at least a teaspoon of that, and then you're going to need a teaspoon of salt. So this is what our salt is in. So the ingredients that you make to like enhance your cookie dough is whatever you want. So we're gonna make 4 different versions. We're gonna use grasshoppers for one. We're gonna use some chocolate and melted as well as white chocolate chips for another. We're gonna use just regular mini chocolate chips for regular cookie dough. And then for the last one, we're gonna use M&Ms and some peanut butter. So if you're allergic to peanut butter, you can just take this out and use the M&Ms. As far as the tools are concerned, you're gonna need a knife to level off your flour. You're gonna need measuring utensils, so cups, spoons. You're going to need a cookie sheet with parchment paper for your flour so that you can put it in the oven. You're obviously gonna need the oven. You're gonna need a mixing bowl with a spatula, a rubber spatula. You're gonna need some sort of resealable bag and like a rolling pin to bang it to make cookie crumbs. And then you're going to need containers for the different types of cookie dough that you're gonna make. So however many types you're gonna make is how many types of, or how many containers you're going to need. So we're gonna make 4 different types, so we need 4 different containers. So once you have all of your stuff ready to go, we're gonna get started making our cookie dough. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is preheat the oven. So we come over to the oven, we press bake, and we press play, and it's at 350, okay? Then we're gonna come over and we're going to measure out the flour. So when you measure out flour, you go ahead and grab what you need, and it's probably gonna be overflowing. So you use the back of a bread knife to kind of level it off. And then you're gonna spread it around on the baking sheet. So you need 2, so there's 1. And then he's gonna get another one. Just like that. And spread it around. You wanna spread it around so that it's evenly baked, and you're gonna put it in the oven, the preheated oven at 350 for only like 5 minutes. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So he's gonna put all that to the side, and he's gonna take the baking sheet and he's gonna put it in the oven for 5 minutes. So it's been 5 minutes and we pulled the flour out, so now we're gonna turn off the oven. And the reason why I put it on parchment paper is so it'd be easier to put in the bowl. So you're just gonna take the 2 sides, bring it together, just like, oops, sorry Charlie. Just like that, hopefully it'll be able to turn it. and then dump it in, just like that. Okay, we have our flour all set, and we're gonna come back over here and we're gonna put the rest of the ingredients in. So it calls for 1 cup of brown sugar. So when you do brown sugar, you wanna pack it. So you get it, and then you kind of push it down into the cup with your hand, and then dump it. Okay, it kind of looks like sandcastle. Then you're going to do your your butter. So you unpeel it. And I always have an empty bowl for all my trash. So I'm gonna dump that in and put the trash in there. Dump that. I got that tip from Rachel Ray. Dump that in. Okay, just like that. Then we're gonna do our milk. We've measured out 2 tablespoons of milk. Dump that in. Then we're gonna do a teaspoon of vanilla. We measured that out. We dump that in. And then a teaspoon of salt. We take that and we dump that in. Okay, so you put all the ingredients in at the same time, and then you're gonna mix it together. So you use the spatula and you just kind of push it all together so the butter incorporates into the sugar and into the flour. So I'm gonna keep mixing and pushing and using my muscles, and we'll be back with what it should look like at the end. So this is what your dough should look like once you've incorporated all the ingredients. So you've kind of creamed the butter or mixed it all with the dry and the other ingredients. So then you're gonna take this bowl and you're gonna put it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna take it over. We're gonna open the fridge. We're gonna put it in there and you're gonna leave it for 30 minutes. So it's been 30 minutes and this is what our dough looks like, okay? So we kind of pushed it all together so that it makes one big ball. And we're gonna divide it equally into 4 different sections. So we go down the middle one way, and then down the middle the other way. And then we're gonna scoop each section into a container. Just like, get it all, just like this. Good. So the first cookie dough we're gonna make is the one with the grasshoppers. So we took 5 grasshoppers and we put them in a sealable bag, took the air out and sealed it, and then we're gonna use the rolling pin to bang it and make crumbs. All right, so we finished crushing them and we're just gonna dump them in to the sectioned out cookie dough. Get it all in there, put that aside, and then we just take our spatula and just like we creamed the butter, we're just gonna try and incorporate this into the cookie dough as much as we possibly can, like this, till you don't see any part of the cookie dough without the cookie crumbs in it, and you don't see any dry crumbs anywhere. Just kind of use the back of the spatula to smoosh it. That's a technical term, smoosh, smoosh, smoosh. Just like that. So that looks good. So I put it in these kind of containers because you kind of want to keep the cookie dough in the fridge just so it stays kind of hard and doesn't get all melty on you. I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna take a scoop of it, put it in my bowl. Take a little, that's about all you need because it is kind of rich. Take a little taste. That's good. Okay, ready for the next one. Okay, so the next one you're gonna do is the peanut butter M&M one. So if you're allergic to peanut butter, you can obviously take the peanut butter out, but you're gonna do 1/4 cup. So, get it, smush it, wipe it, and get it in there. Push it all off. And add the M&Ms. We needed a 1/4 cup of M&Ms. And then you do your smush. Smush, smush, smush. Smush it all together. Make sure. It's kind of hard to tell if the peanut butter is incorporated, but you just kind of smush it all together and keep going until you think you've got it all mixed together. You don't really see the peanut butter as much. So I'm gonna get a clean spoon. Take a little taste. That's my favorite. I like peanut butter though. And chocolate, you can't go wrong. So ready for the next one. So the next one is chocolate with white chocolate chips. So we got Baker's chocolate, and each one of these little things is 1/4 of an ounce. So 1/3 of a cup is, I Googled it, is a little over it's 2.6 ounces. So I use these to get to about 2.5 to 2.6, and I melted it in the microwave. So I'm just gonna add that in to the dough so that the dough becomes like chocolate dough. And then what was it, a 1/2 cup of the white chocolate chips, Chase?
1/2 cup.
So 1/2 cup of the white chocolate chips, dump it in, and who remembers, what do? We smush. So this one's gonna be a little bit easier than the peanut butter to tell it's incorporated, because you should see that all of the dough is the chocolate color and not like the light brown color. This one's gonna be, I just can't wait. You might also be able to take out the chocolate and do white chocolate chips with like maybe some cranberries or something like that. Get it at the bottom, bring it to the top. Oh, I still see some spots where it's not mixed. Move it all around. That looks good. Oh, put it over there. Take a little taste. I get some white chocolates in it. Ready? That one's really rich. Good. So the last one is just a traditional chocolate chip cookie. So I decided to use mini chocolate chips. And how much did we need? 1/2 cup. 1/2 cup. So you just, and then we smush. So we see that there's no loose mini chocolate chips, but they're all incorporated into the dough. Just like so. It looks good. Put that over there. Take my spoon. Ooh, take a little taste. Tastes like regular chocolate chip cookies to me. So here are our 4 kinds. We have the grasshopper mint cookie, peanut butter M&M, chocolate white chocolate chips, and traditional. You put lids on them, put them in the fridge, and when you need something sweet, just take a little spoonful, and that's your edible cookie dough.